Hi guys, and welcome back to another video. Today I'm doing a tiny watercolor, and honestly this one actually ended up feeling a little bit more like a mixed media type piece. I think it was just because I did use a few minor different media things that I used, but it also felt a little bit different of a thought process where it felt a lot more like I was building up and finding different things that I could add to this piece rather than just watercolor. So it was a little bit different, and I actually really enjoyed that. It felt a lot more like I was building up on something, and I like that. I like that feeling of looking for ways that I could be a little bit more innovative with the media that I have around me. But yeah, I had a lot of fun with this one. Like I said, I did do it in a very different process than I normally do for watercolor. Normally I ink them all the time when I do watercolor because I really love the ability to have really strong line work in watercolor because it's transparent. That's one of the big benefits for me with watercolor. But this time I actually decided that I wanted to try doing the inking with a pencil instead. I wanted to see how it would turn out, if it would have kind of a softer look. And yeah, so I was feeling like I wanted to try a few different things out, like I said. So I went in with, I think it was like a 7B and a 9B pencil, and yeah, I just gave him a little bit more of a solid line, and yeah, I mean, it was definitely a good experience to try that out. I think that having the graphite, and I think that there are probably a lot of ways that I can make it better and find ways to make it work more, but I think that it kind of made the whole piece look a little bit more desaturated, and I think I'm not sure if it was smeared a little bit or if it just kind of the very soft edges to it made the whole piece look a little bit smudgier and desaturated, a little bit mushier, not really as sharp and crisp and saturated as I generally like them to be. So I'm not sure. I might try doing pencil line work again and maybe do it a little bit more precisely. I'm not sure. I'm definitely open to experimenting, but what I did like about using the pencil was that where the ink is really, really wonderful. I love doing ink, but sometimes it feels a little bit out of my control. I don't have as good a control with ink as I'd like to have, so I'm not always able to do the exact type of line that I want, and sometimes it turns out a little bit different. And with the pencil, I have a lot more control over it to make it exactly the right shape that I want, so in a lot of ways it was a little bit better where I could get it very precise in a way, but with the inking, I actually do want to get to the point where I'm completely comfortable with making line work and that I can get the exact shape that I want, I can get the exact curve that I want, so it's an eventuality that I'd like to get to, but right now I did enjoy being able to just get back to the pencil where it was a little easier to get what I wanted. And I think that a lot of times when I do pieces, they always end up dark. I really like dark color schemes. I like dark saturated color schemes, so I think for the pencil to work a little bit better, I think that it would have been better suited for a lighter palette piece, one that had really high key values. And I think that that would just make the whole piece feel a lot softer, which would help with the pencil, because sometimes if I do really high key pieces with very dark line work, it has a very strong contrast, which is fine if that's what I'm going for. But if I want a softer piece, using something like a pencil line work like this, or even finding a way to do maybe like a gray line work, I think would help it look a lot softer. So maybe if I try to do a pencil line work like this again, I'll make sure that I'm doing it on a very high key kind of a palette piece so that overall it has a very soft feel to it, rather than having the colors kind of fight against the value of the line work, because the line work is so light that it kind of, comparatively to some of the darker values, was getting a little bit lost. And then after I got the colors basically where I wanted them to be, I went in and decided that I wanted to go ahead and add the inks back into it, because the value of the pencil and the line work ended up fading a lot more into the background, because the values that I chose for the paints were pretty much the same as the pencil, or darker in some areas. And I actually really liked doing it kind of out of order, because normally, like you probably know, I like doing the line work first, then the color, then embellishments. And doing it even just slightly out of order like this, it got me thinking more. It got me thinking about how I can add to it, how I can improve it. I found that I really enjoyed the process a lot more, because it was something that it wasn't like muscle memory. It wasn't something that I've done over and over again. So I was able to think more on my feet and think more about the piece itself and how I'd like to improve it rather than just doing it automatically. So it was actually really fun. So I think I might try switching up my process to see if I can think about new and better ways to do it, or just get back into enjoying the process a little bit more rather than just uh, reproducing the same kind of process and the same kind of image. So yeah, I really liked it. I had a lot of fun with this one. And then after I was done with the ink, I went in with my white ink, which I really like to use to add a few little embellishments to like the shine in his eyes. But because it's actually kind of a transparent ink, I'm able to layer it on top of other colors, and that color comes through, so it's not like a really contrasted white in some areas that it shouldn't be. So I really like using the ink to just add a little bit of more form in areas that it might have gotten a little bit lost, or just a little bit of detailing to areas that I like. And that is pretty much it for this video. This is how he turned out, and I'm really addicted to adding gold. I really love how it shines. But I'm really happy with him, and he is going to be up on my shop, so there's a link right below me if you want to check that out. But thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to hit subscribe so you can catch my future art videos, and I'll see you at my next one.